And with a ruler, lay your ruler down on the tape. Make sure you have the even width that you want, and use the X-Acto knife to gently run down the ruler, cut the tape. Now you can make these lines as thin or as thick as you want. If you're doing this on another project, your plate for instance, you could even do a free-form line, which is not going to be readily apparent until I peel up this first tape layer. And see, now I have a much thinner piece of tape that I can apply to my tile. Giving me a thinner band between the colors. You see, I'll pull up the one where I did the free-form line, and you can see that any shape of tile edging that you want is certainly possible with your design ideas. Now we'll go ahead and set this aside for our last two colors of underglaze on our geometric tile. If you come to a point where you want two colors right next to each other, then what you need to do is lay down one color and have your tile bisque fired. Once it's bisque fired, you can lay the tape right on top of that previous underglaze layer. But often if you try and put the masking tape right over unfired underglaze, it won't stick properly. And this looks rather messy right now. You can see I'm doing this fairly fast. There's a lot of overlap here. And that's not a problem because our tape is acting as the resist for us. You do want to be careful. See, I got a little drop of purple here. I lined it on the masking, so it's alright. You don't want to get so vigorous that you start flicking underglaze around, because that can be a problem. Get a little bit of teal blue for that last color. And normally I would wait longer in between coats, but you don't need to sit and watch me apply 3 coats to know that that's what needs to happen. I just want to give you a general idea of how this is going to work. Now, one more quick coat of that blue. Now, when we pull up the tape, we want to make sure that our underglaze is dry enough that there's no visible sheen. You can see the difference between that slight gloss of the blue there and the no gloss of the green. We don't want our underglaze to be completely dry, because if it's completely dry, it's prone to chipping as you pull up the tape. So we want it to be not wet, but we don't want it to be completely dry. We just want to have that very, very low sheen. And we can very carefully pull up our tape, and you can see that that tape in between those layers has allowed us to have a very precise line. You'll see I've already got underglaze on my fingers. Be careful, because the underglaze that is on the tape is liable to be wet. And if you touch that to your tile, or get it on your fingers and then touch your tile, you're liable to get underglazes in places you didn't intend for it to be. So be gentle. Take your time pulling it up. And you'll see what we have is a very geometric design. Now, say I wanted to make this stripe and this area here a different color. What I would do is I would go ahead and bisque fire the tile now. And then I could come back and lay tape right up to this edge and along this edge, so then I could paint in these areas here. However, right now, the underglaze is too powdery. It hasn't been vitrified onto the tile yet, and the tape won't stick. It'll have a tendency to just stick that powdery top layer and then pop off. So we're going to go ahead and bisque fire this tile now. And if you want to add second layers, more colors, you can bisque fire it several times. You can bisque fire it as many times as you want. That doesn't hurt the tile. It doesn't matter. It's not going to alter the other colors. If you have any doubts, you can always bisque fire the tile in between. Not a problem. When you have the design the way you like it, go ahead and give it its glaze coat and set it back for the glaze firing.